Today in Once Human News, we have our second major patch dropping, and big changes are coming and massive quality of life fixes. Memetics for everyone, no more RNG to get lucky with the acid spec, but make sure you save your controllers. We're in phase 4 now, and the raid is out, and Once Human is keeping up the momentum. With wipe soon, it'll be interesting. So today I'm going to cover all the Once Human news and updates and patch notes and need to know tips and tricks from this week, like PvE only deviants that aren't on PvP servers. So you don't want to miss out on some of these tips and tricks and info that I've got. What's up guys, it's H.O.D here, and today we are covering all the news for Once Human. As always, chapters are in the description for you to skip ahead, because there is a lot to cover. The patch notes and changes coming are huge, so I'll briefly go over them. The patch is about to drop in a day from when this video will be uploaded, so probably around 18 hours from when this goes up. Be aware that the servers will be down for 4 hours, but they did go down for longer last time. Anyway, one of the best changes in the patch note is this memetic change. They're updating the memetics, which if you guys don't know, the memetics specialization is the perk that you get, which can be randomized and chosen out of 4. And once you've got it, you're stuck with it. You can reset it a couple times, but you get limited amount of resets. So many people have messed up memetics like myself, which we'll love to change. And so what they're doing is they're allowing us to get Memetic Fragments, and we can use them to get the corresponding specialization effect. So you can picture that in a drop, you're going to get the acid effect, and then you can choose to use your fragments on that. Picture it like a blueprint BP. So this means if you get screwed and stuck with some specializations you don't like, you can get the better ones now. You're going to have a chance, even if you've used all your resets. So when you get the Memetic Fragments, when this goes live, don't use them instantly. You're going to want to save them until you get the drop for the one that you want. So again, you still will need to be careful. And they'll come from using your controller on loot crates. So be aware, save up some of your controllers. Don't spend them all in the next day until this goes live, because you're not going to get the most out of these drops until the memetic change comes in. So I would nearly hold off on running a little bit, although everyone wants the new mods from phase 4. Try to save your controllers if you guys can. So there's a few memetic updates in this patch, and that is huge. If you guys have been playing, you know what this means. It's a big game changer. It's awesome to see. They also updated the farming, and here they added a continuous planting function to the planter box. This function will automatically replant with the previously used seeds and fertilizer. So if you guys don't know, even if you're using the mushroom deviant at the moment, you still need to add the fertilizer manually, and he just doesn't continuously go back and refill the seeds if you've got more. So hopefully this means if you keep replenishing the seeds, he'll keep going, and so that'll mean that you don't have to worry about refilling your mushroom deviant every time you get on. So this is a great change, and also we'll be able to make the most of our fertilizers, and it's going to be far less tedious. So this is a really big quality of life change. Now we've got some gameplay optimizations, and they've enriched the highway pursuit game mode. This was the new mushroom event where there was actually there was supposed to be a big chase, and you chase down the truck, and out of the back of it falls the sproutlets, and the truck keeps moving. But previously you had to shoot the back door open, so you'd have to periodically jump off your bike, shoot the gate open, and then jump back on your bike or your car and chase it down again. And the zone of the PvP goes around the truck, so it was really wonky, and it was really a very odd mechanic at the time. So I'm glad they've fixed this and they're looking at it a bit more. They've also made it so it starts at 9 PM, so you'll see it on your server a lot more, but it's still once a day. It needs to be more often, I think. Now the Rosetta trucks automatically drop the Sproutlet, so you don't have to shoot the back of it. So this event's pretty awesome. I've done it once, but I really hope they change it so that around the truck, the PvP zone is a bit bigger, because it's still too small. You have to be quite close to the truck to be in the PvP zone. So if you're fighting someone in your car and you know they go out of the zone, then you're just gonna not be able to shoot them anymore, and it's gonna make it so that the PvP in this event is still pretty wonky, but it's still a cool event, and I hope they do more of it. And I think they just need to fix a few things, like a bigger range, a bigger radius around the truck for when the zone starts. Now, if you're like me and you've used your Sproutlets to buy the mod that you wanted, then you're going to need another use for the Sproutlets, and they've made it so that Nisa is going to have loot crates in the Sproutlet shop, and there's a 30% chance of obtaining a legendary mod when opening one of Nisa's loot crates, and if a mod is not obtained, one of the following will be obtained: acid times 200, or barreled premium fuel by 20, or stardust source by 67. So this is great. It's going to make people want to do the events more, and this will happen from both the PvP events. So if you go to the other cargo scramble event, the smaller one that pops up a lot, you can get a lot more with your Sproutlets from that trader, and that's going to incentivize people to do more PvP around the map and go to these events. So they're a lot of fun. Make sure you guys get on it. They did increase also the quantity of Sproutlets and reward drops apparently as well, and optimize the item storage quantity and subtraction rules of Cargo Scramble. So it'd be interesting to see how these changes affect the game. Next up, they optimized an ease of checking certain display elements. So the UI was very wonky and very complicated for a few elements. So after opening the map, you can now click on the monolith, silo, or public crisis event, and it gets the details straight away, so you don't have to click on 2 buttons to get to the point you need to. And they added a combat invitation function to public crisis events, so you can join up other people easier, which is great. So if you're joining a crisis event, it's going to put you in a chat channel with someone else there, so you guys can communicate a lot easier. So when you're with randoms, there'll be a bit more comms, which will be great. And there's no longer a countdown timer for pressing ready when entering a monolith or securement silo, so you don't have to press Y within 10 seconds to get in. So that's great changes. It's these little things that count. Next up, we have vehicle optimizations, and I'm really keen for this change. They say they've increased the acceleration and maximum speed of low-level motorcycles and slightly increased the acceleration and maximum speed of off-roaders and coupes. So the off-roader is going to pick up a little bit faster now because that thing was so sluggish, so I'm really keen to try that out. They fixed an issue where after boarding a vehicle, the player would have to press a movement key once to be able to operate the vehicle. So again, streamlined, just hop in your car and it's going to go. They added a function if a vehicle is stuck on terrain, you can hold down the accelerate key to free the vehicle, so that's great. So no more having to jump out of your vehicle and glide down and press G and respawn it. That's going to be amazing. They also added a setting for auto-centering the vehicle camera, so you can now choose to enable or disable auto-centering when operating a vehicle. And they optimized the vehicle repair and modification procedure. Heavily damaged vehicles must now be repaired before they can be modified. There's been some combat optimizations. They fixed an issue where the attack buff gained from defeating a target with Doombringer did not stack, so Doombringer is going to be even stronger. They fixed an issue where certain kinds of damage in PvP mode were not affected by the gear build. So you're going to get an increase, it sounds, to a buff. Some of the mod pieces and the combinations might not have been working the way they were intended. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how that affects some of these builds. They adjusted the rules for bounce target selection. Blackwater will no longer be targeted by bounce attacks. They adjusted the displayed weapon accuracy values, and the actual attributes have not been changed. And they also added a weapon inspection function that can be accessed from the action wheel. So that's cool, so you can look at your gun real quick from one key instead of going all the way through your inventory, which is amazing. Again, nice quality of life. And they also added a hit counter for the KAM Abyss Glance, so they optimize the field of view when using iron sights on some of the AK weapons. So great changes, great patch notes there. I'm really excited, and it really seems like the devs are onto it. These little niggling issues that can cause issues in the game and just streamlining it. So it's great to see there's big changes coming already, and even more on the horizon with some new events coming our way now. First up, we have Wilderness Express, which starts on August 15th. They say enjoy racing through the wilderness alone or as a team, and earn a rating for mileage and collisions achieved. Attain the required rating to claim rewards including Starcrom and a limited edition cosmetic Fulfilled Wish vest. So that's pretty awesome. We're going to have racing in Once Human, and you're going to be hitting people, smashing people. It's going to be pretty epic because the vehicle combat I'm yet to see, but I'm really excited to try it out. Picture freaking Mario Kart in Once Human. Next up, on the 22nd of August, we have Secure on Site. And during this event, we defeat enemies to earn loot crates, which may contain specimen cards. And you collect the specimen cards and fill in an encyclopedia to obtain rewards. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. It sounds pretty damn cool. Anything new is good in my books, and they're always adding new things with these patches. It's pretty insane. So we also have some new skins, speaking of new things, and they are themed with this racing event, because we have the epic quality outfit Racing Loon, as well as a discounted theme pack, so you can get him when the patch drops. And they've added a neon series of epic weapons, epic weapon cosmetics for the Soccer, MG4, KV. They also added the city vending machine cosmetic for the vending machine. So that's pretty cool. All you traders, you can bring a bit of class to your vending machine and make it look pretty so that people are more likely to buy your stuff because they know you're a real whale. They also added the Sunny Coast living room furniture set, so that'll be interesting, a new skin set for you guys who like your cosmetics. Finally, we have a lot of bug fixes. I'm not going to go over this whole list with you guys. Make sure you guys check out the patch notes, link in description. But there's a nice amount in here as well. It's just sort of your general little mini fixes for slight things like the T having the wrong name and description and things like that. So make sure you guys go through that as well if you guys want to see what other bug fixes there has been. Next up, we have season progress. So as a lot of you guys would know, we have entered into phase 4 on a lot of servers. So week 4 of the 6-week server wipes. And there's a lot of discussion about the momentum of the servers and whether it's keeping strong. And I think phase 4 has been pretty good. Like, there seems to be a lot of content with this raid. It's really fun and there's a lot to it and a lot of replayability there and the other big boss. I'm really looking forward to it, and there's a lot of min-maxing with mods and the PvP events and things like this. But I think after a couple of days into this phase, it might start to slow down a little bit for some people. But me being new to the game, it's still fresh and I've still got so much to keep my hands full. How are you guys feeling about this part of the phase? Are you guys thinking it's going to have the momentum it needs? Is it too fast? Is it too slow? I'm starting to feel like it's not too bad, but I guess I'm a pretty hardcore player, so for casuals, I'd be interested to hear what you guys think. I am just excited that every week we get something new for Once Human right now. So the momentum is keeping strong, and I think it's doing really well for the game, to be honest. It's going to be interesting with the PvP versus PvE though, because I've just realized, we've just been talking about how PvE has the Prime Wars, but PvP doesn't, so it's strange in thinking about it that Prime Wars couldn't be on PvP. Because the Fortress Warfare content, I would say, is getting a maybe a little bit lackluster on PvP is the only thing I would say. So what are you guys feeling about that? It's still fun to be had there, but it'd be nice if there was like another way to PvP or another event, or even more incentives for the Fortress Warfare and a better way to hold your territory. Because at the moment, if you hold down the Stardust generators, basically anyone can come and just grief the terminal and stop you farming, and it's really annoying to get it going again. So at the moment, you'll see a lot of these aren't even being used. So I hope there's some changes to that. That would be the biggest thing that I've seen so far in this season is for PvP. So now let's talk about tips and tricks to know from this week. One thing we found out this week is the bee is not on PvP. So Busy Bee is not on PvP servers. Apparently it was at the start of Wipe, but it is not anymore, and it'd be interesting to find out if anyone on PvP was able to get one before they changed this. Because if you have a Busy Bee on PvP, you could sell that for, you know, a lifetime supply of anything that you wanted. Basically, you'll be living life good, but hold on to it because it gives you deviated food buffs, and so that's why it's probably not on PvP, because these buffs will end up getting pretty overpowered, I'd say. Another thing coming out this week I found on Reddit was the foundation lowering. So put a foundation down, put a small wall next to it, and then you can snap another foundation to it instead of using the stair trick. We have been playing around with food buffs this week, and they are pretty insane. So if you get beer and food, you can basically keep yourself automatically healing, and it's huge if you guys are doing the end game raids. Also, the acid oil spot has become really popular. So there's one spot on the map you can build where you can farm passive acid and oil. Apparently it's a bit of a bug spot, so this might change, but for now, check out this spot if you guys want to build an acid or oil spot. There's been lots of gear build videos. Doomerus just ran solo through the new raid. I did a flame build video. There's been a lot of ice builds as well, which apparently are pretty OP, but maybe after this patch will be nerfed. I just built my bingo sniper build, so I'm going to test that out. So make sure you guys check out the builds now, because you're going to have access to a lot of Starcrom. And also, things to know is if you lost your base, you will have compensation now. The compensation period and everything has been fixed and finished. So if you haven't got a base, check your mail and there'll probably be compensation in there, and maybe your lost parts or resources to rebuild. But like this person said on Reddit, make sure you guys don't move your base tomorrow just before the patch, because you'll risk getting your base glitched out again, obviously. So these are the patch notes and updates for Once Human this week. Hope you guys found something helpful in here. How are you guys finding Once Human still? I am loving it. I am so addicted. It's unhealthy. I'm now kind of excited for the wipe to see what they do with it. Don't forget, you will transfer most of your resources over, so you're not going to lose a huge amount of stuff except your leveling progress. So yeah, I'm really kind of keen. What are you guys feeling? What's the sentiment? How are you guys finding PvP versus PvE? Is the PvE endgame bosses any good now? because apparently they were lagging, so there's lots going on. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll do another video if any of these changes are really drastic after the patch drops. So if you guys want any news, tips and tricks, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.